Hello and welcome to Around the Best Town. I'm your host, Woodbridge Mayor John McCormick, and today's show is all about veterans. As many of you know, we are a town that takes our veterans commitment very, very seriously. We have 6 VFWs, 3 American Legions, the Reinhardt Detachment of the Marine Corps League, a disabled veterans group. We are all about doing everything we can to help the men and women who served in the armed forces to protect our freedoms. Joining me now is Jeff Cantor, a young man who we met through the Veterans Alliance, and that's run now by George Schnepp, who has taken this over and done just a phenomenal job with it. He's got regular meetings, he has everybody active and motivated, and Jeff Cantor was a guest at one of the Veterans Alliance meetings. So I'm on the email chain when I saw the minutes of the meeting and it described Jeff and everything he did at that meeting. I said, we got to get this guy on TV. So let me tell you a little bit of, first of all, welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Mayor Mac.
Let me tell you a little bit about yourself if you didn't know. Jeff enlisted in the Army in 1985, and during his enlistment worked to become commissioned as a second lieutenant. He worked his way up through the ranks, retiring in 2017 as a rank of colonel in the Army Reserve. So he's experienced as a military man, as an officer, and knows a whole lot, as we're going to get into. So thank you very much. How'd you get to that meeting, by the way, in the first place?
Thank you, Mayor. So everybody in Woodbridge has been so inviting, and George especially has been nothing but spectacular in trying to really take care of the veterans community here. And he can't do this without the support of the administration. So I just want to personally thank you and your administration for taking care of the veterans in your community. It means a lot.
It's not a hard thing to do when you're the mayor. It's not hard to figure out that that's something we should be doing, and we do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's important to take care of veterans. They really are a disparaged community. They fall behind with economic development issues, healthcare issues, a number of issues. So we try to do our best to take care of them.
And our administration is strong with that, but I also have to give credit to Senator Joe Vitale, who had an office that was just amazing for veterans. Back when Jack McGreevey was still with us, he was the best, and he lived and breathed helping veterans. I remember when he had a young man banged up pretty much in Iraq, came back, and Jack almost adopted the young man, Earl McCracken, as his own son and helped him through everything. His daughter Sharon, picked up the mantle after Jack passed, was already working on it. Craig Coughlin, the Assembly Speaker, he's in the same office as Joe, Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez. They do so much for veterans.
Yeah, they really do. And Senator Vitale, just the stuff that he does by organizing a bus ride and taking people to Fleet Week.
They're there today.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
They're at Fleet Week today. They're going to see all the big ships in the harbor in New York.
That's amazing, really.
Yeah, I did that trip once, but I don't really fit in those ships. I hit my head a lot. I'm 6'3" and relatively large, and everything is small, and you go down these narrow...
It's very steep.
Yeah, it's not a good look for me. I'm going to stay on the deck next time I go.
There you go.
But then last night we had, just so you know, a Support the Troops rally. So you have Memorial Day for those who passed. You have Veterans Days for those who are still alive. But we do a Support the Troops rally the third Wednesday of every May that remembers that there's still people overseas and even in the States and doing their job to still help us and protect us, and we honor them, and their families come and we give them all a shout out. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. My future son-in-law is actually deployed overseas, so we're looking forward to getting him back. And
good luck with that.
Thank you.
So your first, or I shouldn't say your first, one of your major accomplishments is a Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Tell me all about that.
Sure. So I advised the governor back when he was elected about veterans' economic development issues. And one of the things that we found was that the state has a set-aside law for disabled veteran-owned businesses. That is, they are supposed to set aside 3% of all state contracts for disabled veteran-owned businesses. When I did the research, we found out that the state was not enforcing that law, and most procurement people assigned at the state didn't understand the law and didn't know that there was a law on the books for many years. So that was the impetus in starting the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, was to get a group of veteran businesses together to really advocate for veteran opportunities and veterans economic development.
So are there enough veterans business groups or businesses in the state to really get 3% of these contracts?
Absolutely, yeah. There are over 1,000 members of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. There are 353 certified disabled veteran-owned businesses. There's over 700 veteran-owned businesses in the state. So there's tremendous opportunity for them. As long as the state enforces the law, there should be no problem authorizing 3% of awarded contracts to disabled veteran businesses.
Were they at all a cohesive group before you came along and put them all together?
Not really. It was kind of all dismantled, and this group would be speaking and this group would be speaking. So we kind of just put one voice behind everybody for economic development and created the chamber so we can advocate as one organization.
And do you meet periodically, email chains, text chains, keep everybody informed of what's going on?
Absolutely. We have newsletters that go out pretty much every week. We have networking opportunities that we have all the businesses come to. And then every year we have at least one veteran business summit where we get all the state procurement people, we get private sector, we get all the veteran businesses to come together. There's programming, there's educational opportunities. And then last time we had all the gubernatorial candidates there to talk about what they were going to do for the veterans business community.
And I'm sure every single one of them was 100% in favor of doing everything they possibly can.
Yeah, that's one thing. No matter if you're left or right, everyone can get behind veterans. It's really a nonpartisan issue.
And give me an idea of the kind of businesses that these men and women have. Is it trades? Is it union typical labor kind of plumbing, electric, carpentry? Is it financial? What is it?
Yeah, so it really runs the gamut. You have your trades, you have construction, heavy civil construction, you have engineering, you have architects, you have HVAC, and on the other side you have marketing, you have those companies that produce garments with apparel, that sort of stuff. You have hot sauce manufacturers. Across the boards, it runs many different industries.
So how many times does a government entity buy hot sauce?
So you would think when does that happen? But all the jails, all the prisons, they need hot sauce.
Okay.
That's a great opportunity, an easy one. That's a low-hanging fruit. Just purchase it for the prisons. Some of the schools, Rutgers University, that they purchase on state procurement. So why not purchase it through a veteran business?
Right. When I was in Trenton, the purchasing department of the Trenton reported through our office. So I'm very familiar with that. And you're right. There are a lot of places now that I think of that buy food.
Exactly.
Food products.
Exactly. Yeah. Department of Health does too. So
right. Prisons, hospitals.
Yeah. Exactly. So there's tremendous opportunity. All that we need is really the state to come down and effectively enforce the law. And then award those contracts.
It's no different than minority-owned businesses, making sure the state enforces that because there's rules about that.
Yeah.
Women-owned businesses.
Yeah, and small businesses too.
Small businesses.
Exactly.
Terrific.
Yeah. So the Veterans Chamber is very active. I said we have over 1,000 members. We created a new portal for veterans. So it's called warriorportal.com. And it has a space. So any veteran in the state of New Jersey that has a business can get a free web page on warriorportal.com. It also is a one-stop shop for all things veteran. It has stuff about claims with the VA. It has all the resources that are available in the state of New Jersey for veterans. It has healthcare benefits, so where all the CBOCs, the clinics are, the medical centers for the VA and elsewhere, and the vet centers. So it's really a one-stop shop for all things veteran. And it also has a job board, so veterans that are looking for employment can look and search for jobs.
That's where I was going to go next. So these businesses are veteran-owned. I would imagine that the large portion of the people they hire are like the owners, veterans, disabled veterans. They must, pay it forward and keep hiring people.
You're absolutely right. Once a veteran has a business, they have a higher propensity to hire other veterans. So there is that ability to hire veterans, and we try to connect the two for people that are searching for meaningful employment. We have trade organizations like NJMEP, Helmets to Hard Hats, some of the other groups that we work with, and then we try to sort of pair them up with business owners. But to your point, you're absolutely right. Veteran-owned businesses and disabled veteran-owned businesses have a greater chance of hiring other veterans.
And how much time do you spend on the road like you did coming to Woodbridge to a Veterans Alliance meeting, which, by the way, is just a perfect, great look for you to get everybody at once. How many towns do you go to in the course of a year? How many counties? How do you work that?
Yeah, so I go wherever I'm needed. George has done an amazing job here in Woodbridge, and he put together a very, very strong alliance. So wherever I'm needed, I go. So whatever county, all 21 counties I've been in to address veterans community and advocate for veterans throughout the state.
And you must have relationships with all of the senators, assemblymen, county commissioners, the governor, regardless of what party. So seeing that all the number of, what is there, there's six on one side, five on the other, the candidates, you know them all now.
Yes,
so no matter who wins, they know to call Jeff Cantor.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the one good thing is I am recognized as an advocate for veterans. There are many advocates for veterans, but I've tried to do my best to fight for all veterans. And there's a large spectrum, right? So you have the surviving and you have the thriving. So surviving, there's homeless issues, there's healthcare issues, there's meaningful employment issues, and then the thriving issues is getting contracting opportunities, getting access to capital so they can scale up their businesses. So there's a whole spectrum there that we try to address wherever we go.
And in a prior life, we just talked about it, where we met many, many years ago through Mayor Hornick of Marlboro. You were a Marlboro councilman.
That's exactly right.
17 years.
17 years on Marlboro Council, loved it, served the community, had a great time. It was time for me, though, to get out of politics. So I did my time and enjoyed it, and now I'm moving on, focusing on other things.
Yeah, it's not politics that's fun, it's the government that's fun.
That's great.
So how did that help you? First, with context, I'm sure people knew you from 17 years in a town like Marlboro, which with the mayor you have, John Hornick, is very aggressive, progressive, it's known. Yes. So that experience as a councilman working with different entities through government had to help you with this whole effort.
It did, actually, because, for example, Speaker Coughlin would come down to different events, re-election campaigns, and he would show and support. And so he would recognize me from being a councilman there and said, oh, you have a veterans issue, come on in, let's talk about it. So it's that, bridging the world on the political side and the veteran side to come together to fight for veterans.
Now, you also are involved with the Veterans Foundation of America. That's a national group, obviously. Tell me about that and how that plays into New Jersey.
Yeah, so we run that. That's our charitable arm. And what we do is we try to focus on mental health and improving mental health outcomes for the veterans community. So we offer resilience first aid training, where it focuses on reduction of suicidal ideations, PTSD, anxiety, depression across the board. It's a 2-day seminar that we offer, and they have access to a year-long of follow-on support from that. So it's a really amazing program. We don't charge veterans anything for anything that we do. We try to find sponsors to provide.
I was just going to say you have to fundraise, obviously.
Yes, that's exactly right. So we fundraise. We do. We have a Veterans Music Fest that DJs in November. We have a Tunes for Troops concert that we do in Red Bank to try and raise money for, and we do a golf outing and other things to try and raise money to support the veterans community.
And it doesn't hurt to know the governor, to know all the assembly people, to know all the senators, to know all the county commissioners who, through either their own accounts or through their contacts, can help raise money for this group.
That's exactly right. We started the Veterans Chamber, by the way, in Middlesex County. When we launched, this is where we launched it. So Middlesex is really important for me because they really do. Commissioner Director Rios has been very best. Yeah, he's awesome. He really supports veterans as well.
Oh yeah, and he's just terrific with the way he helps run the county.
Yeah.
As an elected official, there's nobody better. He's at everything. He was from Woodbridge and he moved to Carteret, which is good because now I could be the mayor instead of him. But he always talks about his Woodbridge roots. But he's right next door to us, and he is just a friend of Woodbridge since he's so close. He comes to so many things here. I just love the guy.
Yeah, he really does. He's an amazing person, amazing human being, and cares. And when we launched the Veterans Chamber, he was actually the first person that raised his hands, like, I want to speak at your launch meeting.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Now how does somebody learn about all those events in the actual Veterans Foundation of America? Is there a website? Is there a way to get on mailing lists?
Yeah, sure. So if you go to thevfa.org, as in the Veterans Foundation of America.org, you'll find out some of our programs.
We're going to get into that, yeah.
Yeah,
we'll do it now if you want. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's one of our programs. We have veteran fishing trips. So we raise money and we take veterans out fishing. What we found that when veterans spend time outdoors with other veterans, they do so much better. They have better days. They have less bad days, more good days. They have less symptoms and signs and symptoms of PTSD. So we try to take them out fishing, spend a day out on the water, camaraderie on the boat with all
Little competition.
Oh, of course.
Biggest striper.
And you know what's funny is Army almost always wins, always beats the Marine Corps, always beats the Navy. I don't know why that is.
I have to give equal time, so don't go too far with that. I'm going to have to, well, my dad was Army, so I'm going to let you go with it for a while.
Thank you, Mayor. I
Fought in
appreciate
Korea,
that.
so I'll let you go with that for a while.
Awesome. God bless them. So, yeah, we have the competitions on the boat, and everybody always walks out with a bag of fish to eat, and they just love the time
And just
together.
mentally, like you say, because you're not remembering anything except trying to catch that fish and hanging out with friends.
That's right.
So that's got to be really cool. Tell me some of those other events. So you said DJs?
Yeah, so DJs is the weekend of Veterans Day, November.
Okay.
So that's always a great one to come out. Great bands all day long. Tunes for Troops is in April, so we just passed it. Brian Kirk and the Jerks
Heard
plays
of them.
for
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
They're terrific, and we have a golf outing coming up July 1st. So a lot of events that we try to help raise money for these programs.
Terrific. Now, your full-time gig is at Braven Health.
Yes.
We know them because they're the major sponsor of our Senior Olympics, New Jersey Senior Olympics. So since 2006, we have been the host for that event. It brings in 1,200 seniors from all over not only the state, but in some places the country, to Woodbridge. There's 21, 22 different events all in town, and people just love it. They come in Friday afternoon, they stay till Sunday afternoon. They can do active things like track and swimming and softball, or they can do relaxing things like darts and mini golf and horseshoes and bocce. Have you ever been to it?
I haven't, but I'm going to go this year for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, without question.
Braven Health, Rob Maxon is the guy.
Rob's such a great guy.
He's so easy to deal with.
Yeah.
And he brings the mobile, the health mobile. We have our own now, but he used to bring the health mobile and just give people free screenings and things like that.
Yeah, so it's an amazing thing. Braven Health is a great organization that supports communities like yours. And I joined Braven Health because they launched a program, a Medicare Advantage program specifically for the veterans community. And it's a really amazing program. It really bridges the gap between standard of care that veterans get at the VA or with TRICARE if they retired out of the military, and gives them access to so much more, so many more benefits. So it's really a terrific program. It's called the Braven Salute program, and they can sign up between October 1st and December 7th for this unbelievable program.
So tell me how somebody goes about availing themselves of those services. Is there a website? Is there a...
There is actually. So if you visit bravenhealth.com.
That's what I have here, okay.
Yeah, bravenhealth.com /salute. Or they can call the number 1-833-713-1313, and they can find out everything they need to know about the Braven Salute program.
And tell me, it mentions Medicare.
Yeah, it's Medicare
Tell me about
Advantage.
supplemental programs and Part B and things like that.
Yeah, so there's a program here that explains. In fact, if they call now, if they go to the website, they'll get all this information that explains Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, and all the programs that are eligible for it. So there's certain things that I can and cannot say because of the time frame. You're only allowed to speak about the benefits during the annual enrollment period, which starts October 1st, but you can sort of ascertain how great this program is just from reading the materials here. And then come October 1st, then we can talk about the specific benefits that they get for the Medicare Advantage program. And what's really interesting, right here in Middlesex County, on November 14th, we're going to do a Veterans Health and Wellness Fair with a luncheon, free for all veterans. We're going to have 14 different screenings, cancer screenings, healthcare screenings, cardiovascular screenings, pulmonary screenings, anything that could have affected them during their service. We're trying to remove barriers of the social determinants of health so that they can get the health care that they need and access to good quality health care. So Braven Health has been so supportive in being able to do this. So we're very, very excited to be able to give back to the community, let them know about this program, and then give them the screenings that they need. any female veteran can get a mammogram free of charge. So we're providing a lot of services. And here's the unfortunate thing. The VA currently does not have a mammogram machine in the state of New Jersey for our female veterans. And that's the largest growing group of veterans right now are our female veterans. So we're providing the service to meet an unmet medical need so that our veterans have holistic care.
So I'm going to have to make sure our Veterans Forum is not November 14th this year.
Yeah.
Where is it and when is it?
So,
what time?
Yeah, we're looking for a place right now. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on November 14th. So once we secure the location, we'll send out the flyer, make sure everyone is aware of it.
How many people do you expect?
Anywhere from 200 to 250, somewhere in there. I mean, we'll accept more, certainly, because we'll never turn a veteran away.
Like, just thinking in my head, we have our Acacia Center. It's a former Hungarian club we took over many years ago. It's pretty big, and it probably holds 250 to 300. Giant parking lot.
Wow.
Plenty of room outdoors, a whole big field, and plenty of room inside for displays, and we might be able to help you.
That's fantastic. I'd love to discuss that more with you.
We'll talk about that.
That's awesome.
How about the healthcare community in the state? You've got Robert Wood. We're now going to be the home for Hackensack Meridian. They're moving out of Edison into Metro Park, gigantic building with a 60,000 square foot medical facility. There's Cooper, there's Atlantic, others. Do you have relationships with all of them through Braven?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really interesting. Braven Health is owned by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, right, Hackensack Meridian Health, and RWJ Barnabas Health.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's the first sort of
I
like
knew they were owned by Horizon.
Yeah, it's a payer provider concept. So it's really unique in that everything is sort of self-contained, so you can offer more to the members by doing that, both payer and provider, which is really, really nice.
So Hackensack and Horizon were working together for a while, or still are working together.
Yes.
Yet, thankfully, they just settled everything
Thankfully,
in what would have been a disastrous situation for people in the state of New Jersey had they not settled.
Yeah, thankfully they worked it all out. Everyone agreed to terms. So, and by the way, even while that was going on, nothing got in the way of the Braven healthcare patients. So the members that were part of this program still were able to go to Hackensack Meridian Health facilities and physicians during that time frame. So now that everything's worked out, there's absolutely no issues whatsoever. So total continuity of care.
Great. Well, cooler heads prevailed, and mature people handled it, and it didn't impact, like it could have, and it could have been a disaster.
Yes, people way above my pay grade, for sure.
Right, mine too.
Yeah.
So now let's wrap up a little bit here with, I'm a veteran in Woodbridge, and I'm not active, I'm not in the VFW, I'm not in the American Legion. How do you reach them?
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult, especially some of the older ones that might not have access to a computer or a smartphone. It is more difficult. The Department of Military and Veterans Affairs puts out a newsletter all the time. The Veterans Chamber of Commerce puts out a newsletter, and you can find out what's going on at the Veterans Chamber just by going to njveteranschamber.com and taking a look at some of the programs. Like I said, our next big event is September 18th, where we'll have the Veteran Business Summit. So we're looking forward to that. Warrior Portal is another good stop. Warriorportal.com. Find out what's going on. There's a calendar on there. There's all types of stuff. If you want to buy from a veteran business, you can go to Warrior Portal and search for a veteran business and do business directly with them.
So does anybody know an 85-year-old guy in Avenel, New Jersey, in Woodbridge Township that's inactive but out there and needs services? He doesn't have a computer. He has a flip phone. Does anybody know in the state or the county that he exists? And is there a way to find out who these people are that are not in these groups or not on your radar screen? Is there any way to get to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the VA knows, right? So the VA keeps track, and they know that there's roughly 300,000 veterans in the state of New Jersey, and they break it down by male, female, and by county, so they know exactly where they're at. The question is, some of those patients, so only 30% of the veterans in the state of New Jersey actually get health care from the VA. So that's 70% that are not eligible or don't go to the VA.
They can do it.
Exactly. So, and that's a tough thing about the veterans community, right? So you have a certain group that goes to the VFWs, certain group that goes to the American Legions, certain group that goes to DAV and Marine Corps League, certain group that comes to the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and then so trying to find those other veterans that don't go to those is often a difficult task at hand.
Yeah, we'd like to maybe work with you on that because we have newsletters that go out. We have phone calls that go out and letting people know what's happening in town and what they can avail themselves of. I would love to find a way to make a stronger effort to get a hold of these men and women who don't do much.
Yeah, we would love to help you with that. I mean, that's something that's really, really important across the entire state because right now there's no one single point depository of all veterans that you can reach out to. It doesn't exist in our state.
And what would be good too is perhaps a veterans handout, and maybe we come up with something that is a newsletter that mentions the Chamber of Commerce, mentions the foundation, and mentions everything Brave in Health. It has phone numbers, has websites if they can use it. But I'd love to come up with something like that that can go out to all the vets in Woodbridge that we don't know about. We got to find them and make sure they get these things.
It's a great idea. I know Senator Booker has a veteran book that he puts out every year, and he hands that out at all of his events. But something like that, I think, specifically targeted to Woodbridge would be.
Yeah, we have a senior. Now that I think of it, we have a senior summit, and we have a senior reference book. It's very thick. It's got everything: state, federal, county. It's got Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff, and it's got a page or two on veterans. But it doesn't mention the Chamber of Commerce. It doesn't mention the foundation. It doesn't mention Brave. And I would love to work with you and have our team that's watching this video now and making sure we don't screw up. I would love to have them work with you to come up with something that even could be more of a supplement to that and get that out to the veterans in town, and as well as all the other things we do and that are available to them.
Absolutely.
It'd be great to work with you on it.
I'm in, for sure. I'm in to help you. Definitely. Would love to do that.
Well, this has been Around the Best Town with Jeff Cantor, retired military who has embraced the concept of helping people from his age group and my age group and people older who have served our country bravely, and now they've helped us. Now we have to help them, and our job is to find them, let them know it's out there. And I got to commend you. This resume is ridiculous. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce is such a great idea. The foundation is a great idea. Your personal job with Brave in Health is supplementing everything. You've done a wonderful job, and I'm glad you met George Schneff, and I'm glad you came to Woodbridge, and I'm glad we're able to, focus on you and what you can do. Any final words?
I just want to say thank you for supporting the veterans community. You've really stepped up in a big way, and it's noticed around the state of New Jersey. Mayor Mack really does take care of his veterans, so thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. This has been Around the Best Town.